What is going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley, and welcome to Steelers Almighty. Man, we have got a good show for everybody here tonight. We got a lot to talk about, man. Appreciate everybody showing up as always. Talking about some of the Steelers' odds as far as wins this season, 2025 season, the over-under. It's out. Might be surprising to some people what they have the Steelers picked as. Also, going to talk about the Steelers are linked to drafting Jalen Milroe at number 21, no less. Lord have mercy. If the Steelers do that, we're not trying. I'll just be honest. If they do that, we're not even trying. And then trading back. The Steelers are talking about trading back from 21. We talked a little bit about that in a little town hall that we had on Saturday. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into it today as far as trading back, how far is too far, what they might be looking for. We'll get into all of that stuff for you guys today. So appreciate everybody showing up and showing out. As always, man, thank you guys. Again, Super Chat's wide open, as you know. If you want to help support the channel that way, you want to get your statement or your question or comment up on the screen, you know how to do that. Also, memberships are also available if you want to help support Steelers Almighty in that fashion. So we appreciate everybody being here. Let's get to it. We got some members that are already in. Arch Baby Doll. What's going on, Arch Baby Doll? Appreciate you being in here. Capricorn Steel, as always, both of those two huge supporters of the channel. Huge supporters of the channel. So absolutely appreciate you guys being in here, man. So let's get in this. So DraftKings, they predicting win-loss records. They've been doing that for a number of years now. And they've got the Steelers at 8.5. Well, right now, the money is on the Pittsburgh Steelers being under that 8.5. It's minus 130. So basically saying that the Steelers are going to have a losing season this year. Now, there's some people out there that are like, good, have a losing season. Let's get a higher draft pick in 2026. There's other people out there that are like, absolutely not. There's no reason for us to have a losing season. I don't want to lose. We can figure this thing out. I see both sides of it. Whatever happens, happens. I usually don't get too much into the season predicting thing, especially before the draft. Before it's all said and done, before we know what the roster is going to look like, we just don't know. But as of now, it's the money is on the Steelers having under 9 wins. So obviously they can't have 8.5 wins. So they believe the Steelers are going to have 8 wins or less. That's where the money is. Minus 130. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Alonzo Dunn in the house. What's going on? Thank you for showing up, saying hi to his fellow members, Capricorn Steel and Arch Baby Doll. Appreciate you, Mr. Alonzo Dunn. Thanks for showing up. So, and what's going on to everybody else, man? Jay, how you doing? Commander Wolf, appreciate everybody showing up, man. So I don't know how I feel about that just yet. The Steelers minus 130 and having a losing season. We all thought last year was the year. I shouldn't say we all thought, but that's where the money was last year. You talk to any pundit before the season, oh, the Steelers, this is the year they're going to be under 500. They don't have a quarterback, yada, yada, yada. This is what it's going to be. And then, boom, turns out that the Steelers ended up winning 10 games. So, that wasn't my prediction. I actually predicted the Steelers would win 11 games. But that game at Cincinnati at the end of the season ended up biting me, and we didn't get that 11th win. But, yeah, I just don't – look, we can dislike Mike Tomlin all we want and talk about this and talk about that. I get all of that. But until they have a losing season, would you really put your money on the Steelers having a losing season? Like, you can say the Steelers have no chance to win the Super Bowl. Okay. But can you really just say, oh, there's no way that they're going to have a winning season? We've seen it, man. We've seen it in years that you would think there's no way that they're going to get to at least 500 or above. We've seen it, you know, but they've somehow been able to come out and do it. So, with the money being on them, at like I said, money's it's minus 130 that the Steelers are going to be under 8.5 wins. And that, like I mentioned, you can't have a half a win, you know, even if you tie, that doesn't count as a half a win. So, it's ugly. It's weird. I would never put my money on that. You could say, well, the percentages are going to catch up with the Steelers sooner or later. That the percentages are going to catch up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let me see the schedule. Let me see the schedule when it comes out. Let's go that route and see what it is, because the schedule means something. So let's see the schedule, and then we can go from there and get it all figured out. We can go, and we'll have a show. We always do a game by game, and break down the schedule for everybody. We'll do it live. We'll do it at night. That night when the schedule comes out, we'll break it all down, and we'll see exactly what goes on. We'll see what's up. But either way, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, minus 130. That's just not smart money. Not to me. Not right now. Steelers just don't have a track record of doing that. So they just don't have a track record for doing that. So, and again, I know there's people out there that are thinking, you know what, I want to lose. I want to get a higher draft pick. But do you really? Because I just have a feeling the people that always say, oh, I want the Steelers to have a losing record. If they do have that losing record, you'll want to fire everybody, cut everybody. The sky is falling. You just won't have that same energy that you did when you wanted them to lose. And again, as Steeler fans, it's before the season, all this talk, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, I want them to lose. Let them get into week 5. Do you want them to lose week 5? You still want them to lose then? Because I'm guessing not. I'm just guessing not. Hell, the damn NFL tried to have the Steelers have a losing record last year. I mean, look at what the Steelers' schedule was and how backloaded the schedule was. I mean, they wanted the Steelers. They were, no, you are not going to have a winning record this year. And the Steelers said, yeah, hold my beer. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. We're going to win enough games early. A couple of games you don't think we're going to win. We're going to win those games, and we are going to have a winning record. We don't care what you say. So that's where I'm at with it. That is where I'm at with it. So again, man, I appreciate everybody being in here. We're getting more people up in the chat. I appreciate you all joining us tonight. Again, if you want to help support the channel, you know how. Super Chat's wide open. If you want your question, comment, or statement, we got a first one of the night by Mr. Alonzo Dunn, who always helps support the channel, man. Said, I wouldn't bet against the Steelers. We had way worse, and this following year, they had us winning 6 games. Didn't work out that way. I would be those same people sold all of their stock recently. Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. I get it. But there's absolutely, I'm just not betting. Again, I'll have to see the team filled out, and I need to see the record. When I see all of that, then we'll talk. Obviously, we'll do predictions. But until any of that happens, I'm not doing any predictions. And I'm definitely not doing any predictions saying the Steelers are going to lose, 10 football games or 9 football games. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that no matter what. I just don't believe it'll happen. I just don't believe it'll happen. So there you go. Man, he is incapable of hoping that the Steelers lose. I'm right there with you. Incapable. So my man Christian helping support the channel. Christian Markovich, we appreciate you, man. We should trade back with the Giants. They draft Travis Hunter, Sanders falls. We take their second and third round picks. They have multiple third round picks. We'll get to that here in a minute. We will absolutely get to that here in a minute. But it makes sense. But then we're giving up a first round pick if we trade back with the Giants. So because the Giants don't have 2 first-round picks. At least I don't think. They might, but I don't think they do. And if they don't, then we're giving up one. But let me check. But we'll get to all of that anyway. We will get to all of that anyway. And they absolutely might. Again, I haven't paid that close of attention, but I don't think the Giants have 2 first-round picks. So either way, getting back on topic, I'm not betting against them. I'm just not going to bet against them for the Steelers. I'm just not going to do it. I definitely, Jason Young, I definitely don't want the Steelers to lose, but whenever it takes to move on from Tomlin, at this point, I'm with it. I mean, but you just said that you're not willing, you don't want them to lose. I mean, here's the thing, and let me just throw this out there for everybody because it's always a topic of discussion. And I'm going to ask you, chat, and I want you all to answer. If the Steelers win the Super Bowl this year with Mike Tomlin, would you be happy? Or would you say, yeah, they won the Super Bowl, but I still want Mike Tomlin fired? That's a legitimate question. I know people are thinking, come on, Big B, that's stupid. No, it's not. You know how many people hate Mike Tomlin no matter what? So, like, if we win the Super Bowl, then will you be okay with it? If Mike Tomlin, or do you just, no, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that we won the Super Bowl. I want him out. So, I just don't know. There's too many people out there that hate Mike Tomlin that much that just don't want him around no matter what he does. No matter what he does. So, and I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions, just asking questions. Capricorn Steel is like, hell yeah, he would be happy. Alonzo Dunn, yeah. I mean, and I know it seems crazy to ask that question, but you all have seen it. You all are in the chat. So that's the thing. See, then you got Big Pun says, I'd be overjoyed, but I wouldn't extend his deal ever again. That's a person that really doesn't want him to be the coach. Like, he wouldn't be happy if Mike Tomlin won the Super Bowl. He wouldn't be happy. Because you're telling me that a guy that's got 2 years left on his deal wins a Super Bowl. You won the Super Bowl, but we're not extending you. We don't want you to be the coach longer than 2 years. We don't want that. We don't want that. That's a person that doesn't want Mike Tomlin to be the coach. Would not be happy that he won the Super Bowl because he wants him out. Which, again, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not telling you that you're wrong. I don't agree, but it doesn't matter. But that's the loophole. That's the excuse that people use all the time. Well, I'd be happy, but, I don't want him to coach any longer. That's exactly what that means. Literally to a T. So, my man Christian said Mike T just needs competent QB play and some playmakers on the offense. The defense will always keep us in the game. I get it. No, you don't bring up Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning couldn't play football anymore. That was the difference. Like, he couldn't play football. Mike Tomlin can still coach. I mean, that's one of the worst analogies I've heard. So, one of the worst. Yeah, Mike Tomlin can still coach. Peyton Manning literally couldn't throw. Hell, Peyton Manning couldn't throw a football in the Super Bowl that he won. He couldn't throw the ball 20 yards down the field. He couldn't. So, it's not the same. It's not the same. So, but we'll see. It's just an interesting question. Interesting. Let's move on, man. Let's move on. The Steelers are linked, possibly linked to drafting Jalen Milroe at number 21. Ugh. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. Look, I understand that Milroe is a phenomenal athlete. Some people say they remind him of Cordell Stewart. His name couldn't come to mind. Cordell Stewart. And I'm like, hold on a second. Cordell Stewart was an athlete that could do multiple things. Do we know that Jalen Milroe can do that? But here's the one thing is that I just, we saw, I don't know. Jalen Milroe is a great athlete. He's that. You can't question that. And you shouldn't question that. But we also seen his mechanics as a thrower of the football. It is horrendous. It's not bad. It's horrendous. So, but he's going to the draft. Digital Dust is right. He's going to the draft. He accepted an invitation to go to the draft. Usually those guys, if you accept an invitation to go, you're going to get picked in the first or the second round of the draft. You know, they've split the draft up now. It's first on Thursday, second and third on Friday, and then 4 through 7 on Saturday. So they've split it up. So there's an opportunity for him to go. I mean, if he's going, I'm assuming that he's gotten some feedback that he's not going to be some 5th round draft pick. I just wouldn't do that. Alonzo Dunn with Super Chat says, please no Milroe. We just had Justin Fields, who's a better passer. That's 100% in agreement, Mr. Alonzo Dunn. Justin Fields is a better passer than Jalen Milroe, and that wasn't good enough for the Steelers. Here, the only thing that I would say to that is that if you draft Milroe, you know that you're getting someone that is a 2-year project. You know that you're going to get somebody that he's not ready to play right now, that you're going to have to put the work in, you're going to put the time in, somebody that you're going to have to develop. Well, I would say about 70% of the people that come into Steelers Almighty, 70% of the people that either come into the chat that are a part of this, they don't believe the Steelers can develop a quarterback. So if you don't think that they can develop, that's my whole thing is like, are we sure that our coaching staff is the staff to actually develop a guy? Because he's going to need some work. Look, we did, just so you all know, we got a video coming out sometime. It'll come out soon. We did with our quarterback guru. His name is CJ, Chris James. He spends his time, he breaks down quarterbacks, not only in the NFL, but also in the NFL draft. Got him, did an interview with him. He actually likes Milroe, but he says, first of all, he's not a first-round pick, but he says it's a 2-year buildup, a 2-year window that you are going to have to work with this guy knowing that he's a project. Do the Steelers want to do that? First of all, do you want to waste a first-round pick on that? Now, what I will say is that in previous years, that used to be the norm. You draft a quarterback, you could draft him high, and for a couple of years, they sat and they watched. Hell, Aaron Rodgers watched for 3 years. You know, it happens. And I always say this. If the Kansas City Chiefs can move up to draft Patrick Mahomes and have him sit for a year, everybody can sit for a year. Everybody can sit for a year. And yeah, I get it. Alex Smith was pretty good. It doesn't matter because you knew that Mahomes was going to be the guy the next year. But they brought him in because they said he is a crazy talent, but he's got to learn how to play quarterback in the professional ranks. So he sat for a year. That happened. And Alex Smith had a good year. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. And so for me, that's the thing is like, are you willing to wait that long? Are you willing to do it? Christian again with the super chat. We appreciate you, man, for supporting the channel. Says next year we take a QB high. Let's keep building the team through the draft, off season next season. Over $100 million in cap space next off season. I mean, yeah. My thing is, first off, if you think you can get the guy, I don't think Jalen Milroe's the guy. You know, we did a mock draft on the Big Show. Make sure you guys show up for that tomorrow night. We did a mock draft on it with me and Big G, excuse me. And I said Shedeur Sanders falling to 21, Steelers should take him. I still believe that. Now the talk is he's not falling to 21. Now, it was a pipe dream of mine to even say that he was going to fall to 21 because I don't think that he's going to. But if he did, okay, we would take him. But I don't think the Steelers should just hope and pray that there's a quarterback next year for them to take. Like, who's that guy that you're saying, oh, man, we got to take this guy next year? And I know a lot of people are saying Arch Manning. I'm sorry, Arch Manning hasn't even started 5 football games yet. Like, he hasn't started half a year. Can we just wait to see him do that before we anoint him the next Peyton Manning? Because I don't know that he is. I'm not saying that he's not, but we damn sure don't know that he is. So, is a good point. Jason Winningham said Steve McNair sat. Yeah, he did. A lot of good quarterbacks sat. Now, granted, it was a long time ago, and I'm still trying to figure out, like, what is the hurry with these owners these days? And I get it. You got to pay these guys $250 million now, but you get, let's just say they sat for 1 year. You get 4 years to decide what you want to do with this quarterback. 4 years. That's enough time. That's if you draft him in the first round. If you draft him later than that, I get it. I totally get it. It's 3 years if they sit the first year. But you could always franchise them if you wanted to. But you have time. And it's not a franchise killer like it used to be. Back in the day, if you draft a quarterback in the first round and they don't work out, your franchise was set back 5 years. All the money that you had invested in them. But when they changed the rules, it's just like the Steelers took baby hands with number 20. After 2 years, we were like, this guy ain't the guy. Get his ass up out of here. And they did. Did that crush the Pittsburgh Steelers? Like, have the Steelers been set back by not having baby hands around anymore? Hell, you could say they got better the next year. So, no. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that, like, it doesn't crush your franchise like it used to crush your franchise years ago. So you have opportunities, big opportunities. But the Jalen Milroe at 21 is absolutely not. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't trust our coaching staff to develop a quarterback that needs his type of development. I don't trust them to do that. And also, I'm not a believer. I've seen his mechanics. I've seen his throwing mechanics. They're god-awful. Now, I will say this about Jalen Milroe. He is extremely smart. That's the one thing. I shouldn't say the one thing he has going for him, but that's something that he has going for him that a lot of people don't talk about, is that Jalen Milroe is extremely smart. Extremely smart. If with the right coaching, he can absolutely learn what to do. He can absolutely do that. That's right. He's very coachable, Christian. Very coachable and humble. Good kid. Comes from good stock. That means something today. Super chat by man Lonzo Dunn. Will someone tell at Al the Prowl that we have enough drunks here already and we don't do it better? Oh goodness. Is he already drunk? Big Pun, what did you give him? What did you give Al on the Prowl? Thunderbird? Oh, we can't start on Thunderbird, man. It's too early. I got to watch this national championship game tonight. I don't need no Thunderbird in my life. I don't need it. So, my man Carl says it's imperative that the Steelers don't draft a QB in the first round and go after D-line or O-line or anything else in the first round. Now, here's the thing, Carl. You're saying O-line. You're thinking like me. Like, everybody's just put it out of their mind that we can't draft the offensive lineman in the first round. And I'm like, why the hell can't we? Like, who says we can't draft an offensive lineman in the first round? Why? I mean, if a good one is available, why the hell wouldn't we? I don't think that should be out of the question at all. Don't get me wrong. We need a defensive tackle first. First and foremost, that's what we need. But if the guys that we really like, if they're not available, why can't we go get an offensive lineman? I've said it before and I'll say it again. You never stop investing in your offensive line. Are we 100% positive that Broderick, Faitanu, or McCormick are going to just be able to do the job? Do we know that? I don't know, man. I just to me, I just think if the lineman that you like is there, you take one. You take one. And understand there's going to be competition. You know, what's wrong with having competition? I know we need a defensive tackle. I know we do. But if the guys that you really like are not available at number 21 and a tackle or even a guard that you really like is available and you have a decent grade on them, I don't think it's a reach. I think it's a necessity that you do it. I think it's a necessity that you go out there and get it. So that's just me. That's just me. So, and again, I don't think if Faitano can stay healthy, I think that was his only issue. But it is an issue. I think if Faitano, because we saw him play against Denver, he played his ass off. I mean, they didn't want no part of him. So, but he's got to stay healthy. Broderick, on the other hand, we just got to see it on a more consistent basis. I've said it all along. Broderick's the most talented offensive lineman that we got. But it doesn't mean that he plays the best, because he absolutely doesn't. But when he does put it together, when you see the reps where he actually puts it together, Broderick is incredible, man. He's incredible. We just don't see it enough. Hopefully this move to the left side, we'll be able to see it. We'll be able to see it. So, Jason Rutledge, what do you think about Booker from Alabama? I think he's incredible. I think he's incredible. I don't know if he's worth the pick at 21, but I think he's incredible. But we will see exactly what happens. But you got to have the offensive line, man. We got to. Big Ben said the Steelers will miss Dan Moore. I don't know if he said that, but if he did, he's full of it. So he's full of it. Super chat by our man Alonzo Dunn. Seems like Ben Johnson with the Bears is doing the same thing they did in Detroit. O-line is a priority. You're damn right. O-line is the priority. It always has to be. No team is good with a bad offensive line. That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. Hell, we just saw the Chiefs. The Chiefs' offensive line was pretty good. They couldn't find a left tackle, so their philosophy or their remedy to that problem was to move their all-pro guard out the left tackle. They weakened two positions because Joe Thuney was getting his head beaten in the Super Bowl. And then his backup at left guard couldn't block anybody. So we saw what happens, man. And we saw what happens. But you're exactly right. You got the O-line, man. The O-line is the key. Always been the key. Always been the key. Always going to be the key. You know, that's what it's about. That's what it is about. But Milroe at 21, I don't know. Let's talk about trading back. Should we trade back? How far is too far? We talked about this a little bit on Saturday in the town hall. If the Steelers trade back, how far are you willing to trade back? Like, are you willing to go to 28, 29, 32? There's been all these reports the Steelers trade back with Philadelphia at 32. I think that's way too far. I think that's way too far. You go from 21 to 32, you're giving up 11 spots. And first of all, if they did do that, you have to give me a second and a third round pick in this draft, not anything in the next draft. No. If we went to 32, it has to be a second and a third in this draft. But even the second, it's like, well, it's still at the end of the second round. So I don't know. I think that's too far. I think it's too far, you know, to go back that far. Yeah, I think it's too far. I think 28 is about the max. That's about the max that the Steelers should go. So I think that's the max. Other than that, yeah, I think you're asking for trouble by moving further back, especially if teams want to play hardball with you and not give you everything that you want in this draft. Yeah, moving back 11 spots, you got to give me a boatload. You got to give me a boatload. And if you're not willing to, the Steelers need to stay put. Don't get me wrong. I think 21, drafting 21 sucks. But it is what it is. It's a perfect move back spot, but move back to 26, 27. You know, the Rams, especially if Shedeur Sanders falls. If Shedeur Sanders falls to 21, first off, I think the Steelers should take him. But if they don't, the Rams reportedly are really high on Shedeur Sanders. Great. You're really high on him. You want to draft him? Come move up. We'll switch places with you, but we need your second round pick this year. You know, we need your second rounder. We don't mind moving back. We don't mind trading back. But we need your second rounder this year. So, So we'll find out. Super chat again from our man Christian. He says, trade back. We need D-line and a running back. This draft is deep. I'm telling you, we can fill a lot of holes. Young developmental depth is key. It absolutely is. But if you trade back, for instance, if you trade back 2 spots, you're not getting a second-round pick for that. Like, say we go from 21 to 23 or 24, you're not getting a second-round pick. You're probably not even getting a third. And if you do get a third, it'll be in next year's draft. So, and the Steelers shouldn't do it if all they get is a fourth in this draft. That's the whole thing. That's the thing. I feel like if we move back, yeah, we can move back, but I think a second round pick has to be involved. So I don't disagree with the moving back part. I do, especially if the D-line like Harmon and Kenneth Grant, if they're not available, then yeah, you can move back. You can move back. But if they are available at 21, the Steelers got to take them. They got to take them. You know, I just feel like that wholeheartedly. Steelers got to do it. But I don't disagree with moving back though. I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah, I see what you're talking about now, Alonzo Dunn. Al on the prowl he is on some liquor. He is on liquor real bad. I don't know what he's been drinking. But his comment, I would take Milroe because he'd be cheap and a backup. I mean, we already have backup quarterback. So why do we care if Milroe is cheap and the backup? Come on, brother. You know better than that. He's on something tonight. He is on that liquor. I get it. But trading back makes perfect sense to me. It absolutely makes perfect sense to me. But it's got to be the right deal. It's got to be the right thing. You know, we can't just move back and then, the Steelers move back 7 spots and they got a 4th round pick. Whoa, hold on. No. So Milroe's not a better backup than Mason Rudolph. Come on, Mark Tobin. You know better than that. No, he's not. So, and no, Milroe's not a 1st round pick. I wouldn't take, look, other than Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, I wouldn't take any quarterback before the 3rd round. Now, there's going to be some that get taken before that. I wouldn't take any quarterback before the 3rd round. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't at all. Hell, if you were to ask me, I don't think any of the quarterbacks in this draft are phenomenal. I think they can be serviceable, they can be good, but I don't think there's any quarterback in this draft that, oh man, I gotta have this guy. I don't think there's anybody like that. Kind of like the baby hands Pickett year. When he went 20, the next quarterback went in the third round. That was a year where people were like, man, there's no court. And owners finally said, no, we don't have to draft anybody. They're not that good. They're not that good. There's no reason to. It's kind of like when Will Levis got drafted a couple years ago. Remember, he was a top 10 pick. All of a sudden, the last 3 weeks, people are like, well, hold on a second. This guy really isn't very good. Yeah, the more he's not that good of a quarterback. And turns out he wasn't very good. That's why he didn't go in the first round. Tennessee reached in the second round. And they're probably like, man, what? I mean, remember, they had Malik Willis. Malik Willis played better in Tennessee than Will Levis, which is scary to think about. So, but no, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And you're right, Topaz, building the team and see what happens at quarterback. Just see what happens. There's some guys that I would take third round or later, but I'm not reaching. We don't need to reach. There's no reason. We got too many holes on the football team to just be reaching for picks. So, too many holes on the football team to be reaching for picks. So, and you're right, Alonzo Dunn. How cheap can a rookie be? I'm with you, man. It's like, whew. They are what they are. Now, Somber, you're saying there's plenty of good quarterbacks next year. Who next year is a guy that the Steelers just have to have? Because I don't think they do. I don't think there's that many. There's a few guys, and they may be guys that they say are just dynamite first round picks, but I'm not on it. Arch Baby Doll is correct here. Shut down. I get it. So I don't know. Carson Beck is not that good. Carson Beck is not that good of a quarterback. Why do you think Carson Beck didn't come out in the draft this year? And don't tell me, well, he got hurt. That doesn't matter. Carson Beck got exposed, and now he's looking for a way to try to build himself back up. But Carson Beck is not that good of a quarterback. And I think everybody knows that. Lulu, Big B, or B, have you ever tried Silver Steel 211? I don't even know what the hell that is. So no. No, absolutely not. Lonzo Dunn, Super Chat, we appreciate you. When Ward and Sanders are gone, we can set sights on real football. No more baby hands or his likes or the like. Yeah, you're exactly right. No more baby hands. Nobody liked that. So, cornerback, says Somber, not QB. Gotcha. So, when Carson Beck got hurt, come on, Big Pun. Come on, man. You're smarter than that, bro. He got hurt in the SEC championship game. How was his year before that? Okay, he got exposed. It's okay to say he wasn't that good. Everybody was saying he was going to be the top pick. If he was going to be the top pick, he'd be in the draft right this. But he isn't. There's a reason for that. So there's a reason for that. I think it's supposed to be accrue as much talent as possible since they're not going to find the franchise guy this year, says our man Mason. Mason, number one, thank you for supporting the channel. We appreciate that. And I agree with you. Build the roster. Just build the roster. There's no reason at all not to. No reason at all not to build a roster. Capricorn Steel's got a point. Everybody assuming Manning coming out next year. His uncle both stayed 4 years. Hell, Eli stayed 5 because Eli redshirted his first year. I mean, think about that. Eli, literally, he stayed 5 years because his first year in college, he redshirted. So it's just the way it is, man. It's the way it is. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, Beck is the college Winston, pick after pick. I mean, he got exposed this year. That happened. He's just not that good of a quarterback. He's just not. It's all right. It's okay to say that. You know, it's okay to say that. Ooh, here's a good question by my man Carl. He says, who would be better if they didn't have their trouble? Ryan Shazier or Martavius Bryant? I think it's Shazier because Shazier was already one of the best linebackers in football. He was already one of the best linebackers in football. Martavius Bryant, while he was good, he wasn't a top 15 wide receiver in the National Football League. Shazier was top 5 linebacker when he got hurt. But I love that question. I love that question. You know, yeah, I love it. It's a great question. Yeah, you're exactly right. Capricorn Steel. Shazier was becoming him. Yeah, he was. He was good against the run. He was good against the run. He was phenomenal in coverage. Not good, phenomenal in coverage. Absolutely phenomenal. So, absolutely phenomenal. I love that question, though, man. I love that question. Because Martavius Bryant was very good. He just wasn't a top 15 wide receiver, and probably not top 20. But he was really good. But Shazier was a top 5 LB. Yeah, he was. Absolutely. So, absolutely. And just a freak injury. I remember watching that game on Monday night. I'm like, he just hit the guy with his hip or hit the guy in the hip. Excuse me. I was like, damn. And then when he flipped over, y'all remember he flipped his body over. I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe something I'd like, maybe it's his shoulder, because you usually don't see that. When guys get hit like that, they just don't move. And I'm thinking, well, he flips over. And then I saw him grab his head. I'm like, was he got a concussion? And then he didn't move. I was like, oh my goodness. Man, this is horrible. But that's why it freaked me out. Because again, you never see a guy flip over like that. And I think what it was, I've never really looked. I don't know if anybody's asked him, but I think when he flipped over, he's like, okay, I can't feel my legs. Let me flip my body over and see if the feeling comes back. And then it didn't. And then it was like, oh man, that's horrible. Horrible. Yeah, I remember that. Thank you for the super chat, Capricorn Steel. We appreciate it. It says Shazier was so good, they have yet to replace him. You're damn right. You're damn right. Steelers been looking for his replacement since then. And maybe Patrick Queen, if he has a better year this year, he can be that guy. But they thought they had it in Devin Bush. No, he wasn't. They've been looking to replace him ever since then and haven't been able to do it. Have not been able to do it. You're exactly right, Capricorn. You're exactly right. So, my man Mason, again, thank you for supporting the channel, Mason. He said Ryan was potential multiple-time All-Pro versus Bryant, who, while he had the talent to, didn't develop his route tree enough to definitely say that. I mean, you're exactly right. 1,000%, Mason. Here's the thing. I think George Pickens kind of reminds me of Bryant. He's not as fast as Bryant, but I think he's got better hands. But both of their route trees leave something to be desired. That's where part of this comes in, is that both their route trees leave a lot to be desired. So that's where it comes in. That's where I'm at with it. That's why I hope Pickens gets so much better in this offseason. And maybe he just needs a quarterback to tell him what he needs to do. Maybe he's done. He won't listen to coaches. Maybe it'll be, you know what? If we get Aaron Rodgers in here, if he does nothing but say, hey, Pickens, look, you can be this, but until you learn how to do this, this, and this, you'll just be another guy. You'll be a talented guy that didn't get the most out of his ability. And maybe Pickens doesn't want to hear that from coaches. Maybe it'll take another player to say that. Who knows? Who knows? If you guys can't tell, I'm trying to look for the silver lining in the Steelers signing Aaron Rodgers. I'm trying to find it. I don't know if I will, but maybe that's something. So maybe that's something. Pickens is not our best player. He's the best receiver, but he was until DK got on the team. So he's not any longer. So, yes, Jay, absolutely, Jay. Jay Knudsen, PK needs to be better. Terrible is strong. Patrick Queen wasn't terrible. You look at the number of tackles he had, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't good. I would say he was average. I'm not going to say that he was terrible. That's reserved for guys that aren't very good. So he wasn't terrible, but he definitely, there was left something to be desired. I'll give you that. Arch Baby Doll says, hopefully GP and DK will feed off of each other. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Lonzo Dunn again with the super chat says, there's not many people in history with the guaranteed catch radius. Stupid, but very talented. Yeah. I mean, that Pickens' catch radius is incredible. It's insane. Just not very mature. Hopefully, at some point, he will mature. I don't know when it's going to be. I'd like to be able to tell you when it was going to be. I don't know when it is. But one of these days, he's got to mature. So, he's got to mature. Mason, he's supported the channel, said, I'd rather see Rudolph the whole year. It's either going to be Cinderella year or a clown show. I mean, you're right. So, you are absolutely right. Queen earned more of his check than Minka did. Yeah, I mean, you ain't lying about that, Big Pun. I can tell you that right now. We can talk about Queen, but at least Queen was making plays. Now, again, I don't fault Minka because they just don't ask him to do enough. But, yeah, Queen made more plays, and there ain't no doubt about that. So, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I hate to cut this one short, people, but I got some obligations and some other responsibilities. Got to watch this national championship game that's coming on tonight. So we're going to cut this one short. Make sure everybody shows up tomorrow, though, for the big show. Same time. Make sure you guys show up early. Me and Big G are going to have fun. We're going to have fun. I'll just throw this little tidbit out there. There may be something that you guys want to see that I have at my desk with me. That's all I'm going to give you. There may be a special prop that shows up tomorrow on the show that you guys are going to want to be around to see. Should be fun. It should be fun. But I appreciate everybody, man. Again, thank you guys for always showing up like you do. Again, if you want to become a member and help support the channel, you know how to do that. There's on the front page, you can hit the join button. We got 5 different levels for you guys to join, man. I appreciate that. Again, of those levels, we've got a lot of things that are on there. All 22 is at the all-pro level. If you couldn't tell tonight, when you're a member, that you get special privileges because in every live, I'm going to bring up your commentary. I'm going to bring up your information. I'm going to bring up your statement. If you help support the channel that way, we are absolutely going to salute you guys. That's part of the package. So I will see you all tomorrow. Everybody had a good one. And root for Houston tonight. If you're rooting for somebody, root for Houston tonight. I got Houston. I got a vested interest in Houston, so I appreciate that. I will holler at you guys tomorrow. Aloha.